Well, it's that time of year when millions of cases of the flu and common cold are reported. In fact, according to the Centers for Disease Control, up to 20% of Americans will likely get the flu. These numbers should concern small business owners because sick employees can lead to serious productivity and efficiency issues. In this morning's U.S. Bank Customer Spotlight, the president and CEO of Interact for Health joins us to talk about how to protect you and your business. Dr. Odell Owens is with Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer in the studio. Gentlemen.
Peg, thanks very much. Dr. Owens, thanks for being here.
Well,
Appreciate
thanks for the invitation.
You've been on U.S. Bank's board for how many years now, by the way?
27.
27, not
So
bad.
it's an honor to be on a show sponsored by U.S. Bank.
Well, let me ask you this. What's the potential impact when an employee calls in sick? It's something that I think is a split-second decision on the part of somebody who's not feeling well, but that's not where it ends.
No, I think when an employee calls in sick, the employer should encourage them to stay home until they're well. I think the biggest mistake made is that people come in half sick and then they infect the whole office. When you realize in this country 17 million sick days from work are used in the year, that's a loss of a lot of productivity that might have been cut in half if, however, certain things were done, stay home and get well. However, it has to start with the leadership. Oftentimes CEOs will come in sick.
Right.
Got to come into work. Well, what example are you setting? You can't say stay home when you're sick and then you come to the office and then bring your sickness to the office.
So staying home is the best bet, makes sense. Okay, but let's say you don't do that. What are some ways to minimize your impact if you're at work and you're sick, or you get sick while you're at work?
Well, I think that the number one, and when I always joke and say the highest use of technology is to wash your hands.
Yeah.
Frequent hand washing. And as we know, as we said, when you sneeze into your elbow. If you do have a cold, don't shake hands. You can do a fist bump or elbow shake if you got to show a little love while you're at work. But first of all, you got to do that. Then often, and so therefore, the employer must then have some, hand washing, sanitizers, and good hot water. Too many offices have only cold water in the restrooms. Cold water is not going to get rid of bacteria. It's hot water. So you got to be consistent and look at your process, Yeah. And then some people may have like in a pediatrician's office, if your kid comes in with something that could be possibly contagious, you segregate it off to a different waiting room. And so maybe in an office, you may want to take someone and give them a different place to work when they're sick.
Is there anything particular? Obviously, we're hitting winter now, and that's when a lot of us get sick. Anything specifically related to the season itself that people should be mindful of?
Well, I think, people don't do the flu shot.
Yeah.
And, when you look at, again, trying to cut down on those sick days and increase your productivity as a company, you want to encourage people to do the flu shots. Employers are always saying, what can I do to lower my costs? How can I lower my healthcare costs? Well, you lower your healthcare costs by lowering your incidence of medical need. Here you have the flu shot that may not work for every strain of flu, may not work for every employee, but it does have impact. And at the same time, we can't forget that back in 1920-something, 30-something, millions of people died from the flu.
Right.
So who knows when the next strain could come along, and you want to have some protection.
Are you ever, last question for you, are you ever surprised by the number of companies that just don't really look too kindly on folks staying home when they're sick? I mean, I know a lot of people who work for companies where it's just really frowned upon not to show up, and it just seems so short-sighted. Well,
it's extremely short-sighted. It's short-sighted on a couple levels. The first level is you bring that person in, then your whole productivity goes down because other people will get sick. But the main thing is, what message are you sending to that employee? You're saying to that employee, I don't appreciate you, I don't care about you.
Right.
Come in sick because my need is greater than the whole need. Yeah. Always remember the whole need of the whole company.
It's a great point. Hey, thanks so much for being here, and it's good to see you again.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for being on the U.S. Bank Show.
I loved it.
All right. Thanks.